Bet horse racing on DRF Bets. We'll match your first deposit of $200. Get free expert picks and past performances, plus weekly cash back. All from Daily Racing Form, the most trusted name in horse racing. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. 3 stakes races on tap at Laurel Park on Saturday. We'll kick off the 50-cent late pick 4 with race number 7, the Smart Halo. 2-year-old fillies going 3/4 of a mile, 100 grander. Let's take a look at this field. You'll see that the one Chickiness is going to be withdrawn. I talked to Jamie Ness Thursday morning. He entered DeGale Look, but I think he's more interested in the Maryland Juvenile Filly Championship coming up at Laurel in a couple of weeks. Now, we might have some rain. Tropical Storm Nicole is creeping up the coast. Friday, there should be rain in the Laurel area. And I talked to Anthony Pecoraro, the trainer of the undefeated Bound by Destiny, and he says he's not running if the track is wet, Mike.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I guess he must have seen something he doesn't like about her, maybe training on a wet track. And hard to knock Bound by Destiny on the way in here. She's looked pretty good winning all 4 of her starts.
Now let's throw up the Timeform US Pace Projector. I want to remind everybody that this Pace Projector will update automatically once scratches are announced. All you have to do is visit timeformus.com. You'll get an updated Pace Projector. Dissolute looks like a very talented and fast filly. She handled a wet track with no problems, and she's going to be running and gunning on the lead with an alert break.
Yeah, I mean, she looked very fast in that career debut. It was on a wet track. It was actually run during a little bit of a downpour there at Delaware going 5. But, this filly was never asked for anything in that race. She broke right on top. She opened right up on that field, and she was never asked, Dan. It was a really impressive debut win.
We'll talk about the field in post position order. Chickiness, the number 1, will be withdrawn according to Ness. So we'll move on to the 2. Gormley's Gabriella. Let's watch her most recent race. She was entered for 62.5. Miss Georgie, who's also in this field, was on the lead. She's down towards the inside. And you see the winner, Tappan Josie's just going to come right on over and bother Miss Georgie. I don't think it affected Miss Georgie's chances of winning the race. She looked like she was getting a little bit tired anyway, but maybe it stopped her for getting second. And Gormley's Gabriella, she ran on a little bit at the end of this race, Mike.
Yeah, she did. I mean, listen, obviously there's never a point in this race, as you can tell from the replay, where it looked like she was going to threaten the winner in there. I'll give her a little bit of credit, though, just for racing on really gamely through the stretch there, Dan, to ultimately get up for second. Even with that being said, and I think she improved last time, she's got to improve again.
And she appears a little bit green. You saw her bobbing and weaving. It'll be interesting to see, breaking from the inside post, if she has to take some slop in her face, if that will affect her. Miss Georgie is the number 3 debut winner for the very capable Lacey Gaudette. Spin away, maybe a little bit too much too soon in lifetime start number 2. She showed speed last time out. We saw her get affected at the 3/16. I think she's going to be aggressively handled out of there and try to work out a trip where maybe she's sitting second off Dissolute.
Yeah, I agree. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened last time, Dan, if she wasn't, bothered so severely. And I think you're probably right that she wasn't going to win that race. But boy, she was fighting pretty gamely there when that horse came over on her. I wonder how close it would have been in that race. Her debut didn't get much of a figure, but I thought she looked good winning that day.
Let's move on to Bound by Destiny. If the track is dry, she's going to run. She has run 4 times in her career. All of those starts at Delaware Park, and she is flawless. Let's watch her most recent race, the Small Wonder Stakes, going 3/4 of a mile. She is just too good for this field. The runner-up is Chickiness. Chickiness would come back to win the Maryland Million last year with a 67 buyer. You see Bound by Destiny, she doesn't change leads in the stretch. She has never changed leads in any 4 starts. Pecoraro thinks it's the weirdest thing. She does it every time in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting that she never does that. She ran well here, though. This was another good performance from her, even though her figure declined a little bit. I don't know, Dan. I don't really have any knocks on this horse. Do I love her in here, and would I take a short price? Probably not. But I really can't find anything to knock about her first 4 starts.
Twice as Sweet, a Godolphin homebred by Candy Ride out of a graded stakes winner. Snowbell goes out for Brendan Walsh. This horse ran well in her career debut over a wet track at Ellis Park, graduated on turf, and then last time out at Keeneland, I thought she ran into a pretty promising horse. The winner of that race took that field gate to wire, came back to win a stake at Keeneland with an 85 buyer. Twice as Sweet made a very bold four-wide bid on the turn to get to contention, and the winner just shrugged her away.
Yeah, she was in against a real good horse last time, and she did what she could do in that race. But there was just really nothing that she could do about stopping the winner from winning that race. I liked her debut too. She looked a little green still in that race, but had good speed. The winner came up to her inside, and this filly really didn't give in through the stretch there. I thought that was a pretty good battle she put forth in that race. Feels like there's a lot of upside too, Dan. I think there's a lot to like about this horse.
Curious Price Play is up next. That's a maiden making only her second lifetime start. The 6, Diamonds If You Do, who made her debut in a full field at Keeneland, going a tough 7/8 of a mile distance for a first-time starter. She was favored in this race, which says something considering Graham Motion usually likes to give them a race before they do their best. Diamonds If You Do got a nice trip. She's coming through along the inside. It looks like she's going to be on her way to victory, and maybe she just needed the race and got a bit tired at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a fair way to look at it. She has obviously every chance to win here. Actually, it looks like she even gets maybe a head in front there mid-stretch, but she can't get control. She winds up settling for second. The horse that won it was also a first-time starter. I don't know. I thought this horse ran very well in there. Ultimately, it is the kind of race where you feel like maybe she should have won that day. But we've talked about Motion with his first-time starters a lot. They tend to get way better after a start.
Number 7 is Shiny Slam. She has only sprinted twice. She has won twice. The only blemish came when they tried to send her 2 turns. Let's watch her last race. 2 Life Allowance at Parks, going 6.5 furlongs. She showed good speed in this race. She's just better than these horses as the favorite. Not maybe the strongest group in the world. The 4th horse would come back to run second in a first level allowance with a 59 buyer. She simply needs a buyer boost. It'll be interesting to see if she's fast enough from the gate to try to dissuade Dissolute.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. Both of her wins, by the way, look very similar, and they aren't races where she just outfooted those horses early and opened up and held on. I mean, she had to contest the pace in both of those races, and I'll give her a little bit of credit because she was really game both times to prevail. She's just got to get faster now.
Dissolute, a daughter of Union Rags, that threw a lot at her in her career debut, going 5/8 in an off-turf race. This is a wet track. This is a race run in a driving storm, and Dissolute was simply too fast. She broke on top. She opened up 5 in the blink of an eye, and it doesn't get any easier than this. It's safe to say she handles a wet track. If that is the case, once again, you like to see your 2-year-olds win like this. It kind of hints that they're stakes horses.
Yeah, just absolutely ridden out in this race. And she opened up on this field right out of the gate. She was very fast, and she never gave the horses behind her a chance. Her rider, obviously, just sitting like a statue through the stretch. Really, really impressive, and perfectly drawn on the outside here, once again, with her speed.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Smart Halo. Dissolute, the horse to catch and beat. I think she's going to be real tough, but she's going to have to stretch out another furlong, maybe gets a little bit more pressure this time around. We're both going with Twice as Sweet. She's got some experience, and that was a nice filly she chased last time.
Like both of her dirt starts, and I do think there's a forward move coming for this filly. The way that Dissolute ran on debut, she might have to improve right away, Dan, but I think she can do it.
5846 for Mike, 5864 for me, kicking off a 50-cent pick 4 at Laurel on Saturday. 3 stakes races on tap. Best of luck.